Welcome. I'm David Karofsky with the Family Business Consulting Group. I'm here today with Ted Katsarubis of Katsarubis Brothers Produce. I'm really honored to be with them because they are something very, very special. If you live anywhere in the New England area, I'll bet you money you've absolutely seen their trucks. It is a hallmark along the Mass Pike or 128 or 495. But more importantly, they are 106 years, fourth generation family business, and they have shattered the odds. You're talking about they're in the 3% category of family business succession. And they've done some special things in today's world. And I wanted to share that and have you hear about it and really learn from you, Ted, about some of the cool things you're doing. So, Ted, welcome and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So give us a little bit of the background of the family business, and then we'll kind of get into how you've been pivoting in today's world.
Okay. So right now, my sister and I are owners and operators of Katsarubis Brothers Produce, and we now are in Hyde Park. We moved to it's 3 years ago now. We were right in downtown Boston, and we needed a little bit more elbow room. Our business was growing. We were very fortunate, and we made the decision to move 9 miles, still in the city of Boston. Couldn't leave the city of Boston, but we just had to move a little bit further out.
Okay. And
So
your great grandfather or your great
yes,
great grandfather,
my great grandfather.
your great grandfather started the business. And how did he start it? And just a little bit of the history in terms of how it
Yeah,
kept transitioning, because I imagine you've shifted even over the generations.
yeah,
You've got to keep doing that to keep it alive.
yeah. I mean, it started as basic as it was. It was went to Haymarket Square, had a cart, and we're just like many immigrants at that time, first generation, just working to find a way to make a living. And the a really simple way was I always call produce caveman economics. So it is very basic. There's nuances to it as you keep going, but at the basis of it, it is very fundamental. So it makes a lot of sense that you see a lot of family business that originated when first generation immigrants come into America.
Yep.
And then from there, my grandfather migrated to a retail store, um, and he was running that with his two brothers. And from there, when my dad got into the business in the late '70s, said that he um, felt that he had gone to Babson, and felt that the city of Boston was really ripe for um, to boom and to develop, and saw opportunities with delivering to hospitals, hotels, and restaurants alike.
So a lot of your distribution kind of leading up to now was institutional, right? Restaurants,
Yep.
hospitals, like you're saying. And
Yep.
then so all of a sudden now we get hit with COVID-19.
Yep.
The hospital, obviously the hospitals are still running, but the restaurants certainly are either closing down or shifting their distribution model, so to speak. What has Katstrubis done in terms of shifting your model?
So simple math: 75% of our customers closed. So when the shelter in place was put into place, or stay at home order, I forget the exact
Yeah.
phrase, but when the governor put that into place, basically 75% of our customers closed. And from there, the first initiative that we were a part of is that I'm on the board of directors for About Fresh, and Fresh Truck is one of the arms of About Fresh. And they work with getting food to people with food insecurities, people who live in what they're called food deserts, so they don't have access to produce and the like, because typically around those areas they just have convenience stores or bodegas to go to, and they just don't have an abundance of healthy goods. So they very quickly were part of the first wave with the Boston Resiliency Fund to get the public funding to go out and to be able to continue to work on their mission statement. So we've been doing that now since basically day one.
Okay.
Um, and then from there, I mean, really, it just all started naturally. One of the things that we wanted to make sure was that we're a good sized company, but at the same point, we are closely held, closely run. And we got the impression that the drivers were a little hesitant to make direct home deliveries.
Okay.
And we wanted to figure out a way to also get food to communities, So what we started doing was just basically a variety box, weighs between 18 and 22 pounds, that we sell for $25. And we have 5 drop offs that we do on a weekly basis in regional Massachusetts. And basically, you can just sign up, no, like about 48 hours in advance. And we bring our truck there and keep all the social distancing, keep a steady path, and can just move the trucks right out of the box, get it to the people's homes, and they don't have to go to the grocery store. They don't have to,
That's great.
so it's been fun. It's been very, I love the spirit of a CSA model. I think that's something that, yeah, I tell people all the time. I remember a point. I'm only 4 years old. I do remember there was a time where you couldn't get strawberries at
Yeah,
points where, and I just love the spirit of this CSA, because I do picture people on their phones getting recipes on different things of ways to cook with items that they don't necessarily gravitate to.
yeah, absolutely. It's the way I look at it too is you're not only helping the end user like myself per se, but you're continuing to keep the ecosystem going. The farmers that are
Yep.
growing the produce, many of which, if not all, are probably family businesses. By the way,
Right.
you have those relationships, and you're able to keep them in business by allowing your distribution model to shift and pivot to be able to reach the end user. Still, would you say that that's still
Yeah. And that's what's unique with it, and something that I think a lot of people don't understand. And I could say to a certain level, even though I grew up in the business, that I took for granted, that there's farmers who grow commodities really for food service, and that's what we would call ourselves, a food service
that's
distributor.
right?
That we didn't change what we were buying either, to then further put more pressure on to the retail demand. We were offsetting it with what was typical to the food service demand.
Got it. Got it. Good. So, Ted, if somebody is interested in learning more or they want to sign up, how can someone like myself sign up for your service and your produce?
And I believe you can also get it through our Cat Service Produce website.
If you want to learn more about Katsarubis Brothers produce, you can go to katsarubisproduce.com, and that'd probably be the best way for them to
Yeah.
learn from there.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, thank you very much. This has been great. If you want to learn more about the Family Business Consulting Group, you can reach us at our website at www.thefbcg.com. Ted, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.